Alrighty. Hey, now we'll see. We will see how this works. um, oh, hey, friend. What? Okay. Oh, let me not just invite anybody. Okay. It's hot. I'm like, we already started with the technical difficulty. Because at first it said you couldn't join. And I was like, man.
But I just came back and I seen a notification. I was like, okay, we good to go. We good to go.
Good stuff. This light hot.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm probably gonna get hot.
Since it's just 3 of us, I'm gonna go cut this air up a little higher.
Okay. Peace and love to everybody that is joining.
Is it getting hot where you are?
Today was like 91.
Disrespectful. What happened?
I was like, ooh, I gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, it's been creeping up hot.
It was like, matter of fact, I stepped out because I had went to the park this morning. Like, I needed it, but I went at like 6:30, and I was like expecting it to be a little cool, so I had like threw on a little sweater real quick. I stepped on the balcony to grab my yoga mat, and I'm like, it's hot. Like, I was like, I don't need this. I'm like, it's already hot at 6:30. I'm like, yeah, it's
in the morning.
I was like, it's gonna be hot today.
Disrespectful. Yeah, like our pool at my job is opening up, and I'm like, people are. Is that season? It got hot real quick.
Right. In North Carolina, the weather could be funny. One day it's hot, then it's raining, then it's cloudy, then it's hot again. So just
that sounds like Texas. We have all seasons in 1 week. 1 week. Well, thank you everybody for hopping on here. I appreciate all the love. All the love. Well, if you don't know, I'm Nehcole, and I got the perfect opportunity to join and meet Miss Toya, and I'll let her talk about herself a little bit.
So my name is Toya for short. I go by Goldn.Light as well on all of my platforms. I am a self-care coach. My emphasis is on internal work, accountability, and prioritizing taking care of yourself from the inside out. Journaling is something that is a big part of my journey. So I'm excited to share my experience, share with Nehcole, and share with you guys. So I appreciate the opportunity to build with everybody at this time.
Yes. So we're going to kind of hop right on to it, if that's okay with you. I guess I'll just, as I said, I'm Nehcole. I'm an active mental health coach, assistant, whatever, which one you want to enable it. If you need encouragement, I'm definitely there. But I do take mental health very seriously. It's important. I just think it's been downplayed over period of life, and especially in our community. So I will advocate it the best way I can. So I picked journaling today pretty much because it's mental health month. And what journaling is for me is pretty much self-expression of how I'm feeling, or if I have so many things going on, it's in my head, and it's the best way for me to clear my head just a little bit. So what about you, Toya?
So journaling as a whole is just like a therapeutic healing tool for myself. You know, it's something that I've done when I was really young, and as I got older and had different experiences, I feel like my journaling experience expanded, you know? So I'm able to get in tune with my emotions. I'm able to release. And somebody that is constantly reflecting, constantly overthinking, overanalyzing,
Hey, she
sometimes I
preaching.
need that, right? I need that release to like get things on paper. That has always been my go-to, and it works for me in different ways in my healing and growing and things like that. It's a place for me to really be honest with myself, which sometimes is hard, but being able to say things that's real and write down things that's real, it really has transformed me in a lot of ways.
That is beautiful, because that's what we do. We just growing constantly.
Right.
The next question we're gonna answer is, how did we get into this? For me, I'm in therapy, and my therapist had suggested this about almost a year ago. Because I'm pretty much an overthinker and my brain is chaotic, I pretty much thought you had to be organized. And I'm like, that's not it. I'm organized at work. So I'm going to get home. I don't want to journal and be organized. But I tried it about maybe a month or two ago and tried it again. And this time I tried different ways of methods of journaling. And we'll go into that a little bit later. And it's worked. I don't have to be on the lines. Pretty much, you don't have to color inside the lines. And it's been working so far. What about you?
It's definitely a form of self-expression, and I feel like for me personally that it's something that I always needed. You know, I'm a creative person. I have ideas. I have a lot of thoughts. And like I said, sometimes I need a place to release them. So for me, I started journaling, like, I don't remember the exact age. I want to say, I feel like it's as long as I can remember. Like,
Wow,
I didn't really
really?
have a lot of people. I probably had people I could talk to, but
Mm-hmm.
because of my personality and things that I was dealing with, I wasn't used to expressing myself, right? I
Okay.
wasn't used to speaking with my parents and my siblings. You know, we had moments when we did speak and talk on things and stuff like that, but I didn't feel always secure and comfortable expressing myself. No disrespect to anybody else or anyone to make me comfortable. It's really just like
Right.
my personality. I'm very shy, you know. People,
What?
I know people probably don't believe that now, but yes, I'm really shy. Like
Yeah.
I was that young girl like that had to walk across the stage and I'm in a corner and they like, stop biting your nails. I'm like, oh, I'm
Oh. No,
but
look at that.
journaling has like always been a place for me to release. And sometimes it's not even about, you know, sometimes it's about an idea, sometimes it's about a dream, a thought, or whatever the case may be. But I noticed that when I was young that situations drove me to my journal. And I know sometimes it's like
Wow.
people confuse like journal with diary and things like that, but I didn't really see it as a diary where I was just like, oh my God, my mom did this to me. And I was, you know, and I was like feeling this way. It was just like I had a lot of internal things that I was battling, right? And
Right.
because I'm a reflective person, I'm constantly asking myself questions. So I would go to my
Wow.
journal to try to sort through what I'm feeling because I knew that even though I was able to shove things underneath the rug and find
Mm-hmm.
distractions and things like that, journaling was a place for me to say like, okay, I know I'm tripping. And I know I may not go
Mm-hmm.
directly to this person and admit this. I might not say this to you as of yet, but this is a place where I need to be honest first in
Mm-hmm.
order for me to understand what I'm dealing with on the inside. So because I always struggle with things that's happening within myself, I
Mm-hmm.
always went to journaling to say, Toya, we need to have a sit down. That was like me one-on-one. That was my intimate
Okay.
moment with myself to say like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? But it wasn't
Okay.
always, you know, about, you know, sad things or frustrating
Right.
things or things that may have been traumatizing. It also was being able to understand different parts of myself, things that my desires, you know, things that I wanted to do, my aspirations. So my journals is like, it goes from full of light to some heavy dark shit.
Man,
Like, you
look,
know.
some of those. And I love that you mentioned a diary, because in my head when you said that, okay, what would be the difference between a diary and journaling? Because since you've been, I'm envious of you, the fact that you've been journaling since back then. And I'm, man, if I would have wrote some stuff back in the day, but we're not talking about that. We're not going back that way. I would, what shows me the difference between a diary and journaling, I would say a diary to me comes off as secrets. Like you don't want no one else to come across. Well, how would you describe the difference between a diary and journaling?
You know what's so crazy? I never actually thought about it so much because I was so natural of saying like, okay, this is my journal. This is my journal. I never really felt like I had a diary in a sense. I feel
Okay.
like even back in the day, I have this like memory where like I think I did write some like heavy things, and somehow my mom saw it.
Oh,
She was like, what are you writing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, I'm just expressing myself, you know?
right.
But I came across an article maybe like 2 days ago, and it was breaking down like a diary and a journal. And it was almost very similar, but they were making it seem as if like a diary is something where like you're writing things that are happening like current moments, like, and you're doing it every day, where journaling can be a little bit more sporadic. But at the
Right.
same time, I feel like journaling for me is a little bit of both. Sometimes I may be going through something and I need to work through it. And, you know, I tried doing external things. I tried going here. I tried talking, but I'm not all the way dumped out yet, or I haven't released everything, right? You know, so it's
Right.
like
Right.
I'm a journal. But then I have times where it's just like I feel really inspired and I need to write these things out. And I'm into poetry. You know, I used to do poetry growing up and things like that. So my journals are filled with poems. So,
You must have
and I
been good
like
in
to write
English.
that too.
You made
Huh?
A's in English.
I think I was well rounded across the board, you know. But yes.
Yeah, see, because I'm like,
But you know what's crazy though? I
huh?
suck when it comes to like grammar. Like my journals are like fuck punctuation, spelling.
Right.
Like I'm just writing.
Right.
So sometimes even now, like being able to translate and take things out of my journals, just like, hold up, where that comma go? Wait,
A
hold up, this.
comma. I don't even think there's periods in my journal.
Look, because I'm not writing with, and I tell people like, yo, you don't have to journal like you write in an essay. And
Right.
that's where
Right.
like as I was getting older and trying to still be authentic in my way, it's like going through school and writing papers and having to speak to this audience and write to this degree. It kind of took away from how like sometimes I naturally talk. So sometimes I'm writing and I'm just
Yes.
like, but you don't even say it like that. And I'm like, okay, let me, you know,
Right.
or that's why, like, you know, we gonna probably get into it, voice memos and things like that,
That
being
was
able to
next.
really hear my tone in a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I think I also write in a way that's like, I like to, and I don't, I mean, I'm not like, I don't really get too much into poetry, but I like to express myself poetically because it comes off of how I think, you know, when I'm processing things and when I'm thinking about certain things and how do I take this feeling of being amongst the trees and translate that as I'm writing off of visuals. So sometimes I don't write and make sense. And that's what I also struggled with being able to like translate that and be like, I'm always misunderstood because I'm not seeing things and saying things that can usually be like processed a certain way because I'm really going off of these visuals that I have in my head and I'm literally like seeing what I'm writing. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
I now you made me want. Can you read us something? Because that just sounded so pretty. I'm like, how the tree moves. I'm like, a leaf moved, a spider came down, and I almost screamed. What? Now you make me want to do that because me and one of my close friends, we want to start going journaling by the rivers and lakes out here. Now I'm gonna try to express how I see everything.
It's a
But
form of
that's
creativity because I love words. Like today, like I was telling you earlier when we were speaking, you know, this morning I got up and I was doing my routine. I lit some candles, you know, I was doing my little morning routine and my spirit was like, go to the park. You know, it's 6:45, 7 in the morning. So I went to the park and I'm like suiting up my bag. Get my journals.
right.
Let me get my
Right.
incense. Let me get everything that I know that I usually have at the crib and bring it to the park. And that's what I did. And I
Mm.
started to write, you know, I'm just flowing. I'm just like, and this is where, like I said, I'm not proofreading what I'm writing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes when I
Right.
go back, I be like, okay, let's you know, okay. But I
Right.
realized like even today, like I was like in my garden. And when I was thinking and repeating
Mm.
the word garden, I was thinking like guard, like GUARDN. And I was like,
Okay.
that's exactly what I was speaking to. Like being able to protect and have boundaries and guard what you have within yourself. And I'm like,
Okay.
garden. I love a play on words. And that's how
Okay.
I like to write sometimes too. And that's what I mean by like it not always being understood, but it's like things are going off in my mind And I'm literally scribing the visuals that I see sometimes, you know, by my emotions. But I will say this, that's a safety net for me, because for a long time, it was a way for me not to face myself. It was so easy to talk with the poetic things, and instead of saying I'm jealous, I'm a people pleaser, I'm envy, or any other these feelings that I can just say straight out, I was so used to just being poetic with everything. Like, you're not even saying what you really feel. You're not saying what you really feel.
But you are. But
I
you,
am.
in a way.
But at the same time, it was a safety net. Because when I was able to then really just say what it is, even though I can still say it poetically, it gave a different process for me, being able to say it, write it, and then also tell someone that, and, you know, heal through that process. So it's a level to it.
Now you're gonna have me reading the dictionary, so my stuff can come. I'm gonna throw a word in every now and then, so it can kind of somewhat poet. I'm gonna try to have some rhyming words a little bit.
Look, however you gotta get it out.
Look, so we were talking about journaling, like, and I'm gonna show you guys. I say you can journal with anything and everything. You can journal literally, you can do it on your phone. You can do it an app. I have 2 different journals. This one I probably got from Target because I'm a Target holic. And no, they ain't paid for this. But anyways, this is a dotted journal. And in this journal, I've noticed that I like to write letters to myself. And then I have one that's a little bit more organized, of course, is with the lines. Recently, since I've talked to you, I've done pretty much about almost a week and a half of doing voice memos. Y'all, that's a game changer. I've been going through it some days, and I recorded myself at that split moment, like while I'm driving the car, like hit record. And after I hit record, I'm like, okay, like I said whatever I had to say. But when I replayed it, you hear the tone in your voice, you hear the passion in your voice, and stuff that you don't think you would naturally hear when you say it out loud. Because I'm going through it, or I'm hearing this, or this, that. It sounds monotone in my head. But the way I expressed how I felt, completely different. So right now I'm kind of flirting more with the voice memos than off of paper. So have you done the voice memos, right?
Yeah, the voice memos.
Let me hear it.
That take journaling to another level. And I always tell people, like, because it's easy to record and just like let it go by the side. And sometimes that happens because you just need that immediate release. And I feel you, because there's been times I'm driving in a car and I'm just like, look, I got to dump. Like I be saying like a thought dump, like hit record. I can't write, you know what I'm saying? So I just got to express it, you know, through words, you know. But being able to play it back, it allows me to be a student of myself. It allows me to step outside of myself to see and hear, like you said, something that you can't really always hear when it's you're so close to the picture, you know. And me being someone who I'm gonna be real, like I didn't really like my voice. So hearing the playback, before I can even get the gem of, you know, what's happening, I'm like criticizing the hell out of myself. I'm like, why you sound like that? Why you say that word like that? You know, your voice is deep. Like, why you laughing like that? Oh, you crying? Like, you know, just like going hard on myself, you know? So once I got over that hump to say like, okay, this is you. I had to fall in love back with those aspects of myself that I used to be so hard about, you know? So voice memos help with that, because even though it's just like, okay, it's a voice, you're talking, but it's you know what I'm saying? It's me,
100%
you know? So once I got through that and then was able to digest what's happening by what I'm talking about. And sometimes, like, you know, it could be that I'm frustrated about something, I'm confused, I'm hurt, I'm upset, or I'm happy, you know, all these moments. Like when I get real excited, I get real childlike, you know. And sometimes it's like stuff that people like, why you act like that, you weird, you know. Or and I'm just like used to dim that part of myself. So when I used to hear myself that way, I'm like, girl, this is what people be talking about. So it allowed me to pull away from the things that people said about me to say, hold up though, like, but I love that part about myself. That's me in my rare form. So that was a process. And then also being able to freely speak. You know, I had mentioned earlier, growing up, I was very shy, and in a lot of situations, I didn't use my voice. I didn't speak up. I was afraid to speak up. I was too concerned about what people thought about me. You know,
Woo.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to be in a position to be judged. So I try to stay as low key as possible. But it's like the Most High always put me front and center because my ideas charged me to be in certain spaces where like
Yeah.
I got to fulfill that, you know? So
Yeah.
it was a battle early on. But you know, as I got through it, it's like speaking in a voice memo is how I charge up. Like I'm letting these words come out. You know what I'm
The
saying? The
way they
whole
come
throat
out.
chakra is
If
activated.
they
Like,
shoot, they're firing. And look, I'm sorry if it hurts you or not, but and you know what you said. What made me found out what's so beautiful is the fact that it is the authentic you. And we will bash ourselves. We always criticize ourselves, no matter what it is. And this time, it's not physically, but it's vocally. And even though it's vocally, we have to give ourselves some grace and some praise. The fact that this voice got us to where we are today. Regardless, we don't think about it because we're like, oh, we open our mouth and we talk. It's natural. But this voice got us here today because I would have never thought that you would have felt any type of way about your voice. Would have never thought, because now you make me I want to hear live poetry from you. I would pay some good money.
Look,
I'm just saying,
look, I'm gonna tell you something in this because I still slightly cringe at this video. I do have this spoken word that I did that's on my YouTube channel, right? And it's probably like 6 years old. And I still be like, oh, because that's the thing. Like, I can write poetry and I can hear the words, but then, like, can I convey the message? It's like I was so judgmental with myself. So that, and I love how someone said like a verbal version of looking at yourself in the mirror. That's exactly what it is, you know? And it gives you a chance to see and hear things that you may not catch. That it's like, wow, you saying those things, but I can hear you really doubting yourself. You know, the way that we judge other people, this is a space for you to judge yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, so what's that, YouTube? So I can go. But you know
yes,
what?
it's called what is I can't even remember the name, but I got a head wrap on and I think like a white shirt. And I'm just like,
okay. But
I got this little cape thing going on, and and that's crazy thing is like, even though I look back at it and I was just like, oh, I slightly cringe. I remember when I was recording, I felt so good to express myself. And I feel like that's something that I'm gonna hold on to love, that being able to express yourself is something that you don't have to judge so harshly for yourself. You know what I mean?
And no one can take that away from you. Like you said, that moment, it felt like everything to you. And someone can say, oh, well, you did this. Okay. And I did. But I loved it. So now I really would love to see you. I don't want to say redo that because you'll never take that moment away. Like, you know, you can't duplicate that moment. But from then to now, like, what would be the difference of how you would talk and how you would carry yourself? But that's a whole nother day.
Yeah, I was going to say, now you actually giving me some homework, because I'm like, well, that's actually a good question. How would I redo that poem now that I'm at a different, because like I said, I think that was like 6-7 years ago, you know, and I'm in a completely different headspace, a completely different emotional space than I was. And that still was something that I thought that, you know, I was, like I said, I was free to express myself in that way and felt good about it.
See? Okay. I'm going to hold you to that now. I'm definitely going to hold it to you.
I'm going to send it to you like, look what you did.
But it'll be a good thing. It'll be a good thing. Well, I mean, the next question was, how is it beneficial journaling? But I think we kind of played with that a little bit. So do you want to go on the questions? Because I'm ready to get that part over.
Look. I'm going to stall you just a little bit because I want to say, ooh, the rebirth of your poem. Look, the creative ideas.
Come on, friend. Come on, friend.
This is too good because I just like how that sounds, the rebirth. And I just really been in a space of enjoying watching things bloom even within myself, but also being at a place to let things go and accepting things to die to bloom again. So like I might have to really do that. Oh gosh. Woo!
So it's funny because, and you know, I forgot to put it out there. She's a Cancer, y'all. It's my Cancer twin down there. But and I love that she put that because I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to be turning 30 in July. And I wanted to do a photo shoot. And my photo shoot, you know, people typically say, oh, I'm dying for, you know, my dying ages of 20s, like my 20s. And I'm like, I appreciate everything I went through in my 20s, because we're all lessons I've learned to get to where I am now. And my whole point of, I will wear black and all that good stuff to the photo shoot of, yes, my 20s is dying out. However, my rebirth of my 30s is everything that I gained from, let's say, 13, 12 to now. It's a whole different being. Just even in my journaling from reading a year ago or 2 years ago, how I wrote to myself, I could tell I was writing to try to please other people. I was trying to put so much energy in other people and different experiences, and I was still carrying weight from different past traumas, versus now, even how I write to myself, hey, beautiful, how are you doing? Instead of, oh, I can't believe, I mean, literally, I talk to myself completely different than how I used to back in the day. So what she said right there, whole rebirth of life, all of it.
And you have me thinking about, like, the thing I noticed about being able to go back and reread some of my journal entries is also recognizing certain patterns, right? Being able to see, like, you know, what are some of the things that I'm still talking about or constantly talking about? There's some things that because even when I'm writing, and I know we'll probably get into more once we actually sit down to actually do a prompt live, was that I ask myself questions and I write questions out, and I may not answer those questions right away, but they turn into prompts later on, you know. And something that I recognize with how I journal, it's like sometimes I'm writing and it's like, okay, I really need to do this and I feel this way. But there's sometimes where the spirit is actually speaking to me, where it's like I'm scribing the message that's for me. So it's like, you da 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 da, you know. And I was just telling my homegirl this the other day, like sometimes it's like I'm writing in a certain, what is that, second person,
third person, one of the persons, don't hold us to
one of the persons. Been out of school a long time.
It don't even matter. We know what you're saying. One of them persons,
you know. And it sounds like I'm always talking to people, but I'm so included in everything that I'm sharing because it's literally the same message for me. So sometimes my journal is like, okay, I feel this way, I'm this, and I'm talking to myself in that way. But there's sometimes where, like, I'm sitting there and I'm coming out of a meditation, or maybe I'm leading myself into a meditation, and things are clicking in my head, and it's like the spirit's like, take notes, right? Take notes. And then sometimes I'm so eager to write that the spirit's like, hold on.
Not quite
yet. Patient, sit still and just listen. So that's why, like, journaling for me is, it's so magical, it's so spiritual, and it's so healing in the way that you can really work through some of your things. But I will say this, it can't act on its own. You know, you can write all day, close the book, and carry out the same way. You really have to be intentional and incorporate what you're doing. And when you start to do it so much and it creates this habit, and you start to create this relationship with yourself through writing, when you're not actually writing, you're moving through your day in a different capacity, because it helps to strengthen my intuition. It helps me to hear my inner voice. It helps me to weed out some of the things that I know that I'm working through, that now I'm starting to see when I'm moving throughout my day, interacting with people.
Don't get me started. I said I'm not crying on this. We're not crying on this live. Do you hear me? We're not doing that.
Look, I was crying this morning in the park. I don't even know where it came from. I was just like in a meditation, and I didn't even feel like I was just crying just for me, though. That's how powerful it was. I'm just like, yo, this is a full release. And it's just,
if you cried for me, thank you, because I'm not in the mood to do it. So if you cried for me this morning, thank you. So thank you, universe. Thank you, Lord, because
these lashes ain't waterproof. I'm like, why am I making these sounds? I'm just like, look, I didn't even know I was this emotional. I'm like, okay, I was having images and just like, it was deep. Yeah. I still got to process some of that.
If it was an ugly cry, it wasn't me. If it was like,
now it wasn't ugly in the face.
Oh, no, that
was making some noises.
That wasn't me. I don't know who that was. But because that's one thing that I've had to work on, even with my therapist, is so many times I should have trusted my intuition. I should have trusted. And you're right, because even with journaling, even if, like, I don't know why, but my safe space is in the shower, I will talk to myself, okay, Nehcole, how are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? Is it a fact? Because that's how I write. Is it a fact? Is this self-inflicted? Did you cause this, or are you
Mm,
making this up? And then, like
mm.
I said, how I write, I'm like, okay. And then when I'm done thinking, I'll write about it. And then it's like, huh, yeah, that's how I felt at that moment. But now that I've thought about it throughout the day, and situations happen throughout the day, and I go back to what I wrote, that was me. I mean, I definitely, that was me. And it's like, okay, like you said, you notice your patterns. Because I definitely can see there's certain things that trigger me. And I'm like, okay, well, let's work on this area. You can work through everything else, but this one specific area, it's you. It's not even what's going on around me. It's you. Because I'm such an empathetic person, I'm always trying to save people. Even at my
Mm-hmm.
job, I am constantly. So it's like no one else is telling me to do all these other tasks at work. No one's doing it. That's me. I'm causing that. So now, because I have written it down and I've talked about it. Okay, sis, it's you. It's
You
you.
see, that's why I say too, like writing and journaling, that's a form of that accountability. Whether
Yep.
you go back and read it and know that you said it, but also like recognizing and asking yourself those questions to self-reflect, and sometimes I'm like, okay, am I projecting? Am I feeling, am I seeing this situation a certain way because it's an insecurity that I have? And when I recognize that it is
Mm-hmm.
an insecurity that I'm being triggered by, I then find out like, okay, this is something that I need to work on. And that's
Yeah.
why now I used to fight against myself in so many ways about some of the emotions that I did feel like I didn't have a right to feel them. And when I did that, it pushed me so far away from them. But being able to pull them in, it's like, okay, go ahead, trigger me. Go ahead and sit this
We ain't there yet.
like
I'm on level 2
look,
trigger. I'm not ready
look,
for number 9. Like, baby.
look. You'll get there. You'll get
Oh,
there because it's
I'm coming
almost
for
like
it.
when you know and feel a certain aspect of yourself, and it's like I'm learning to embrace, of course, where I am, but knowing
Yeah.
that once all of this is removed and what that feels like for me, I'm like, okay, I can't wait for that. But it's like
Nothing.
this purging of everything else is something that feels like it's worth it, and it's
Oh,
hard,
for
and some
sure.
days I feel like I'm going through some of the same cycles, and
Yeah.
like me even admitting, and understanding and seeing a different perspective to even say like I never really knew that I was a people pleaser because I just felt like I was always giving, I was caring, and I was always
Whoa.
helping everybody.
That.
And you can come to me and tell me a situation, and because I'm so ambitious and I'm about doing stuff and solutions,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
like, what are we about to do? But I realized that I didn't give myself a chance to really honor what I felt. I didn't really give a
At all.
chance to. And then even when I was considering, I was like, nah, I got to do this for them because I don't want to let them down. And I had to realize, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah. Right.
Why?
Right.
And I was like, yo, this has been shielded in so many other things. And I'm just like, yo, I'm a people pleaser. Like,
See,
ew.
hold on. What I'm not, and y'all not about to judge me. I'm over 21, so y'all not about to judge me. Girl, what? Like, and the thing is, people pleasing is in so many of us that we just try to just brush under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, I don't know about you. At my job, I'm the go-to person. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how did I get here? Why am I the go-to person? But oh, what you need? Oh, I got you. Let me try to work this out for you. Let me do this. And it's been my whole entire life. And when I found the root of where that came from, I'm like,
You see it.
mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
see
you
it.
do.
And then it's like, for me, I'm just like, I used to be so angry and be like, why am I like this? I'm not going to be kind no more. Like, was so angry and wanted to
Yeah.
really, and then I had to it would always come back to me like, yo, this is you. And what I realized is like, you need boundaries, sis. You lacking them boundaries. Like, you can't stand firm on your boundaries. Like, and that's something that I
Oh,
had to deal
word.
with.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yep.
okay, how do I now want to implement this? But now I can recognize in a place of like, okay, yeah, I can help them, but I can choose to, take my hand away. How
And
much can
that's
you do
fine.
for yourself,
Yep.
before, because I'm
Yes.
gonna go all in. That's just me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If I'm gonna go all in, and sometimes I go in so much that it removes a person from having to do anything. And it's not my
Complete.
responsibility, you know?
I'm
So
not.
I'm
We not.
draining myself dry for what? So instead of blaming everybody else and thinking like, why somebody didn't consider this? Why didn't somebody do this? Why didn't somebody do this? It's like, Toya, you can say no,
You
and
can.
you need to figure out your boundaries.
And that's the thing, because I remember when I first started going into my therapy sessions, my therapist was, okay, what are your boundaries? I was like, oh, well, this and that and the third. And she was like, that's not your boundaries. What are your boundaries? I don't even really know how to spell boundaries. What you mean, sis? Like, I had no idea, but now, nope. And the thing is, in all aspects of my life, I have to create boundaries. Even if it's
Yes.
uncomfortable for me, I have to set boundaries. Even with myself, like, okay, yes, you can feel out your feelings, so you have to feel out your feelings. But let's set boundaries that you're just not pretty much repicking at a scab. You're not, you're self-inflicting harm. We're not going to do that. But
Right.
boundaries, if I would have known, like, this is stuff we should be taught in school. Like, this is important stuff you need in life. Like taxes, we still know how to fill out them forms. But boundaries is something we need to practice. Girl.
It gets real, because it's like being so comfortable and what
Yeah.
was like normal for me. It in the beginning, it was hard for me to choose myself. As easy
Yeah.
as that sounds, it's like, choose yourself, sis, say no. And that wasn't really
Not.
like something that I was used to. So like choosing myself and choosing to do something for me almost felt like it was always wrong. And I
It
felt
felt guilty
guilty.
for it.
Exactly. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, well, why do I feel this way? So once I was able to weed out some of the feelings, the emotions, trying to extract certain things, using my past, using my present to really understand certain things that were happening, it was
Mm-hmm.
completely different for me. So now it's like, and then I was the type of person where like, I'm good at multitasking and I'm good at doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got so good at that it just became what everybody got used to me doing as well.
Yeah.
So I also had to get to the point where like, I'm gonna slow down. And my best
Yeah.
friend would tell me to like, okay, you doing too much, slow down. I'm like, you right. Like I'm trying to do this, do that,
We
and I don't
rushing for what? Because
I'm like, no, I'm gonna reel all of this. I'm reel all of this in and
yeah,
be able to just slow down a little bit, not
and
do so much.
breathe,
Still can do a
breathe.
lot. Breathe,
Yeah,
right? Breathe.
be
Like I'm
be,
just like,
be
okay.
grounded. Like simple as that. You have to be grounded. And it's funny that you say that because last week, because me and my cancer twin last week, all these weeks been hard. But my friend was like, just come with me. Let's go take a walk. We go. We start like randomly walking behind trails and stuff, and for a good moment, I felt like a kid. I
Love
wasn't
that feeling.
worried about anything. I can't remember. I can't even tell you the last time I saw earthworms. I literally remember bent down. And I was just like, oh, they still exist. Like they didn't disappear with my childhood. Like, wow, they're still evolving. But it felt good to just stop for a minute and breathe. It wasn't that me. I was trying to ignore what was going on in life. It just felt good to breathe and take time out. And then after we were done, I was like, okay, we can do this. Like, breathe. We got this. The week's still been crazy. However, I felt better and it slowed me down, basically. And we need
It's
that.
like a recharge or
Yeah.
being charged up in a way. And I love how you said like feeling like a child. Like those are some of the things where like I say all the time, like creating saves me every time, and it allows me to connect with my inner child and connect with things that are forms of self-expressions, a form of healing. Even if it doesn't have to be a business, it don't have to be something that you got to sell. I
Yeah.
mean, literally creating these sacred moments with yourself to fuel back in love within yourself. Because for me, like I was somebody that, like I said, not really speaking up, not saying things, dimming my light, too
Yeah.
worried about making other people uncomfortable and people pleasing in a way to where like I was okay with making and like shrinking myself, because
Yeah.
I was so concerned with like, I care for you so much. I want you to always feel like you good.
Always.
You know
No
what I'm
matter
saying?
no matter how I
So
feel,
no matter how I
what
feel,
you feel.
because I
Yeah.
also felt like, well, I'll get through whatever I can, but I love you so much. And it's like, that also wasn't as healthy for me because I brought it into relationships. You know what I'm saying? Whether it
Yeah.
was a platonic relationship or,
Yeah.
something that was like a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And it was something to where like this give, 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 give. And when you match up where
Yeah.
nobody's pouring back into you, I was always at a point where like I was so angry with myself, and it's just like, Toya, like, look, you did it again. You did it again.
Yeah.
And here I am trying
Yeah.
to like build myself back up,
Yeah.
So having those boundaries, recognizing, self-reflecting, being able
Mm-hmm.
to express myself through my journals and go through the certain patterns, and really
Right.
trying to get, I'm always stressing getting the root of what something is. Like, okay, I admit that I was a people pleaser, but that didn't just start yesterday.
Yes.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
This triggers me. That didn't just start yesterday. So
Right.
going through meditations and being able to
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like, I did a post not too long ago using music to trigger memories, because I can't remember
Ooh.
everything, but somehow it's there.
Woo! I got a whole playlist. I got artists that will take me. When I tell you, girl, I will. I'm on my phone. I was about to look for my phone. There's this art. I can't even think of the song, but I can tell you when I heard it, where I was driving on the highway. I was in the, like how the sunset was. Like I could paint real well. I can give you the exact memory and feeling. And music, music is another language.
It
Music is a
is.
whole nother language.
And we're
Girl.
connected through that because it ties in, it has the good memories and
It
the
does.
things
It
that you
does.
like, dang, I forgot how much I used to paint. Like, I forgot how much I used to love taking pictures. I remember
Mm-hmm.
dancing, you know what I'm saying? And then you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
moments where it's just like, dang, that was a time where I was very insecure. That was a time where I allowed him to dishonor me. That was a time where I speak
Ooh.
up when you was doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it was so
Yeah.
many things that's like, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes to triggers, it is kind of like we're so used to kind of reacting to it, like, and getting
Mm-hmm.
defensive and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have moments where I am triggered, and I think it's just how I've been when I was younger. I'm good at kind of like sealing it on the inside and still
Mm-hmm.
going forward. But I know when
Yeah.
I get back to a place, Toya, I be on my phone like, take notes, okay, this,
Right.
that, and when I get
Right.
home, I'm digging through that, because it's like,
Yeah.
I know what I feel on the inside. And if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
satisfied and I don't feel fulfilled, I'm like, yo, I'm not shoving this underneath the rug no more.
Not.
I want to fit. And I know everybody got different preferences of how they want to do it. But me
Yeah.
personally, like, I really try to figure out, why do I feel that way? I've always been that type of person. And sometimes I have to get to a place where, like, the spirit will tell me too, like, this ain't a time for you to solve. I just need you to be. And I have to honor those
Ooh.
moments too. So
Ooh.
it's a balance. It's a
It's
balance that
and
I,
it's and it's
work with.
it's constant. It's definitely constant because I did not know therapy and healing is a process. And like you said, we're
Mm-hmm.
rushing. I'm so always used to do this. Like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Healing is like, you're going to sit down and we're going to go through every last one, a bit of these emotions, all these triggers. And it's like, okay, all right. And like you said, with definitely triggers, you do, and I have noticed things of where I'm getting defensive. And it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
why are you getting defensive? And like, and my therapist told me it's things from my childhood that I'm still defending. And it's like,
Yes.
woo. And it's like,
Yes.
well, that explains it. That explains. It's funny because when you had mentioned how you were creative now, I was going to ask you, what did your creative now? Is that how you were creative when you were as a child? Because like
Mm-hmm.
me, as a child, I used to like to paint. I used to paint it on my mom and daddy's wall. Got a whipping for that. But I used to paint. And it's so funny how last year, almost 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
to me, I felt I randomly fell in love with doing makeup. But I noticed anytime I was upset when COVID hit and I had lost my job, I started doing makeup tutorials. And it was soothing to me. And people were like, oh, you're so talented. And I'm like, oh, I'm all right. But it was soothing for me because that's how I was getting through my trauma. I was like, okay, I'm painting. It's nothing. But when you said that, it just instantly clicked to me. It wasn't a quinkety with me in makeup. It wasn't just, it just fell in my lap. That is a way of me being creative and expressing myself. Who
And
would have
it's so
knew?
many forms of that. And I know a lot of times people think creativity is just like, okay, you got to be an artist, you got to be a writer, you got to
Yeah.
make music, you can, I love using cooking to be creative. You
Oh,
know what
don't
I
look
mean?
over here, sis. Don't look. We're not gonna go over here with that. Oh, we'll overeat it, but okay, sis.
But yes, that's,
Okay.
when, I mean, I ain't every day, sometimes I'm like takeout, but I've been doing good. I've been doing good the past week, I've been throwing
Okay.
it down, but
That counts.
it's still like a way for me to connect with creating, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Or
Yes.
even if it's like, I have these moments where like, I'll just be in my room and it's like, I almost can't sit still because I'm doing everything, but I
Mm-hmm.
need those moments where it's just like, I got an idea. It's like being able to act on the idea is that thrill. It's an adventure. And I feel like that's where I connect with my inner child, where it's just like, forget the responsibilities right now. I want to go outside and play. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I
go
want to
play.
indulge. And that's a whole nother charge for me. So being able to
Mm,
understand and know what works for you and connecting with yourself in those ways and making those moments, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody has the capacity where they do something for 8 hours or whatever the case may be, but
right.
do what you need to do in order to get a little bit, just a little bit every day of something that you love or you enjoy or something that makes you feel good, because that is another way that the spirit is going to speak through you. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like the Most High speaks through me through my creativity, through my visuals, through the ways that I'm thinking and processing things, that sometimes is for other people, but then
Yeah.
also sometimes it's really for me, you know?
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. I'm a people person and I'm not. Like
Oh, that's me.
I can talk to anyone and everyone. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Like
Nobody.
at all. Like don't look at me. Like I'm not here. But I feel like I said, I was creative with my makeup, but my charge is people. And I had to recently accept that and embrace it. And that's why I'm like, okay, mental health advocate. You like to run your mouth? Use it. Use it. And you know, a lot of people say, well, what is your why? Whatever you're starting, whatever your business is, what is your why? And your why is going to hold you through. My why for mental health is because people need it. Mental health is in so many people. Like, I can't even put it in words right now. It's so important. That's all I can think of. It's so important. So what I'm going to run my mouth about is what I feel is important. And that has not changed consistently. I've been about mental health. First, I was like, oh, what if people don't? I don't even care. I don't care if y'all don't even like it. I just know who does need it is going to hear it. And that's that.
And that's that. And you know what's so crazy, going back to where you were saying that, you know, the way that you found yourself like defending yourself and how it was something that you've done, you know, in your childhood. And that's something for me, like I always felt like being misunderstood, that in those spaces, I felt like I had to constantly defend myself. So I always came off as defensive. You know, I always felt like I had to prove, or like, you know, but then it's like, I go back and look at things that I've done and I'm like, this is not new to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I read a blog post that was almost from 10 years ago, and I'm talking about the power of your mind and how, like, there's so many things that you think that you lose because you have different experiences in life, but then really they don't ever really leave you, you know? And I felt like in certain spaces I had to like always try to like, okay, this is me, I want you to see me. But that was actually something that I struggled with growing up, like not being heard, you know what I'm saying? Not being seen, or not being able to have those intimate spaces where like, hey, do you see past what you see here? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot that's going inside, and I may not have always been the person that took initiative to kind of express it, but I did long for it, you know? And that even roots back into having issues with seeking validation. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's layers to all these things. Like,
See,
I'm mad
here
at
we
this
go
person,
again.
but I'm
Here
realizing
we go
like
again.
it's some things back home, you know?
Yeah. Like, and the thing is, girl, all this can tie out. We got to start writing, because what we seek can almost downplay us from what we didn't get in our childhood. So, like the validation, I've always seek validation, because it seemed like some people put me on a pedestal, and I'm like, well, I have to try to reach that. Like my job when I first got here, everyone adored me, and corporate just felt I was just this A star, which I have to give myself credit. I'm an amazing worker. Like I have to toot my own credit. I downplay myself a lot, but however, I was stressing and going beyond, over and beyond, to try to meet their standard. And because I didn't have those boundaries in place, I did not set boundaries until it broke me. And I'm like, never again. Never again. And so I kept doing that over job, until I moved here, and I'm like, not again. So now when I get a little feeling, I'm like, okay, are you going to speak up? Because I used to not say nothing. Oh, well, you know, they got a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of stuff going on. Like, I have to speak up for myself. But as a childhood, oh, okay, well, they're having a bad day. Or I shouldn't say this, or I shouldn't do that. No. Them batteries got to be placed.
Definitely being able, like you said, to use your voice and speak up and honor. I'm so big on honoring like your emotions and what you feel. And it's all about the way that you can do it that's authentic to you, but not having to like box yourself. And it's so crazy
Yeah.
because I'm a very free spirit person, and I like to sometimes like I could be really spontaneous, adventure, like, you know what I'm saying, just be like,
Yeah.
oh, just go with the flow, you know. And then
Right.
there's some parts of me that, you know, I have to have some type of structure because it gives me a certain wisdom that I need for other things, right? So it's like all these things are into play. And like speaking on the whole validation thing is like, because of me like having low self-esteem by like not feeling like I was enough or not feeling like, you know, I measured up, it was only because of things that I was seeing outside of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
use certain situations to be a standard and never spent time really understanding the standard within myself. But now that I'm just like, okay, let me pour back into myself the way that I always should have, you know. And I have these meditations where like I go back to like I have visual, like, and I feel like visuals is really my way of seeing things, like
Your
being
go-to.
able to really go back into a time period and literally sit in a meditation and watch, you know, watch and see like, you know, myself from another perspective to get a better understanding of what I maybe could not get from someone else, but now I can pour back into myself in that way to understand and to grow from. Because something that I've done where I was 5, something that happened when I was 10, is still with me now that I'm, you know,
Yeah.
about to be 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's why mental health, emotional intelligence, all these things where it's just like it almost was like I kind of get annoyed sometimes when I see things, and I was kind of like, you know, naive to what was happening in this whole self-care world, you know, where I felt like I was even defending that. It's like, oh, this is some trendy shit, you know, and I'm just like,
Woo!
well, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I wanted to always go so hard to make a stance to say that I was different because I also was fighting to prove myself and to be seen in a different way. And it's like, yo, if you can't see me, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's people that see what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
That can see that. You know? But I felt like
Yeah.
I was so focused on the people that could not see, and that's
Yeah.
why I was constantly feeling like I gotta prove and I gotta defend and I gotta do all these things. I gotta get some type of validation from you. But at the same time, it's like the Most High validates me. You know what I'm saying? And I've poured into myself to validate myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I can go back in time and look at, I can write a whole progress report for myself and be like, sis, stop playing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
stop playing with yourself.
Right. Girl, a word. I love how this ventured off to the
I was like, we supposed to get to that journal prompt.
Right.
That was like 20 minutes ago.
It's fine.
We gonna get there. We gonna get there.
Right. Girl, all of that. So do you just want to go into it? Because we've answered all my questions.
Let's go. Okay, so let me.
Right? We just said okay.
Look, I stalled you already for like 20 minutes. We about to get into it.
Right.
So I'm gonna just explain how we're gonna do this. So
sounds good.
For anybody that doesn't know, this is a Q&A book. This is something that you can purchase. It's a great way to journal as well. Prompts is a great way to kind of spark yourself to get into writing if you're not someone that can just sit there and like write about how you feel or write about your thoughts if it's new to you. So this is a Q&A book. It basically asks a question every single day for 3 years. Now this one is for 3 years. They have some that's 5 years, and it allows you to kind of, if you keep up with it, allows you to basically see how you're thinking from year to year. So like if the question, for example, is what are your fears today? In 2021, you may write something like, girl, I don't know what my fears is. And look, to me, I feel like that's a solid answer. Don't force something that's not there. Be true to what you feel. But let's say 2022, you get that question again. That's a whole year that passed. You may have something more that you want to say, or you maybe have said the same thing that might have to tell you something about yourself, you know? So these Q&A books, you can get it from Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Target. I think I've seen them all over the place, but we're going to do a live journaling session. So we would love if you, those who are here, to join in. If you're watching later, you could definitely join in. We wanted to keep it spontaneous. We don't know what the question is. So I'm going to have Nehcole give me a day.
No. I'm going to pass it to them because I don't want this pressure. I don't want these type of problems. The universe ain't going to set me up and trigger me. We're not doing that. So
we keeping it so raw because we gonna get to writing.
I need you guys who is watching to pick a month and a day. And she's going to open the book and she's going to read out whatever month and day you pick. I have some dates if anyone doesn't pick, but please pick a month and day.
She said she on no smoke.
No smoke. None.
Look. All right,
Boom.
12/6.
There you go.
12/6. I'm kind of nervous too because I'm like, damn.
Right.
What is it going to be?
All
All right,
right,
let me
let's
get to
go.
12/6.
December 6th. Well, we got a few of them, friends, so if we go through this pretty quick.
And this is a Q&A. That's Q&A for the soul, so it has a lot of like introspective types of questions. Oh, we got a few dates.
Right.
Oh,
let's go.
Okay. All right, so for 12/6, it says, does now belong to you?
Who put that? Hold on, let me go back. Okay, read it again. Read it again. Read it again.
Does now belong to you? I'm going to type it out as well.
Okay.
And the thing that I love about, and me and Nicole talked about this as well, the great thing about prompts, or even when you're looking at quotes that you're trying to dissect, you can interpret it how you want to. You know, there's not a right or wrong way to journal. If now speaks to a certain now for you, write to that. You know, be authentic in how you want to do that. Does now belong to you? Okay, I'm going to have to sit with this question for a little second. I'm going to write it out for everybody. Belong to you. That's our 12/6 question. Okay. So y'all let me know. We're gonna spend maybe like, what you want to do, Nicole? Like maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah, let's do 3 minutes.
Y'all want some sound, some music without words, so you're not distracted.
And feel free to do this because we might, leave it open to the floor and see what was your thoughts and how you wrote it out or what came to mind.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all. We're gonna get a little background music real quick. I'm gonna try to get something without words. Look, my thoughts is going off. I'm like, hurry up and pick a song so you can write, girl. No, you're gonna forget.
Because I don't know if this is English, what I'm writing down. However, it's my thoughts.
Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna do like maybe 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
I didn't even peep the time where we at. So we're doing a live journaling session right now. First question: is there a way can you pin it? If you hold it down,
Let's
my
see.
comment, you might be able to pin it just in case anybody's joining.
I could be IT now. I know how to do it. A phone call still went through. I'm mad about it.
While it's on, here we go. Sis,
What plane am I on?
right
And the
there.
phone call still getting through.
Read Teach 80 comment right now and tell me that's not confirmation for our previous combo.
Woo! That's
See?
crazy. Because what I'm writing, that's it.
We definitely gonna try to make this a thing.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I love that.
All righty. You ready?
Pen down. I'm just kidding.
No. I'm gonna put the pen up. I'm gonna be a rebel. I'm gonna ask you, what type of journal are you writing in? Is it dotted or is it
Right
line?
now, you know, this is actually, I've never written in a notebook that's like this. Most of my journals are like just standard open. This is actually like a note type of like fold over journal that I've been using. But I can't even lie. The paper and this Sharpie gel pen, which I didn't even know Sharpie
pen?
was making pens like that.
Sis.
Man, it be
Nothing to play
smooth.
with.
Look, that's one thing I be telling people. Like, look, you get a nice little pen, you get some good quality paper or something that feels good to write on, because paper do matter. And you get some fluid.
Paper do matter. I'm getting that on the shirt. Paper do matter.
Because look, when I need to get this, you know, I say this really quick because this is also a way for me to express how I write, because sometimes there's a lot that I'm thinking about at the same time that I'm trying to like have my initial thought. Mm-hmm. So that's why voice memos, I could just like ramble. But when I'm writing, it's like, girl, slow down. I'm trying to scribe everything you thinking. So I need that pen to flow, you know,
real smoothly.
Let
me ask you this. This is off topic, but how you write, is it different off of how you're feeling at the moment?
Yeah, I can go back through my and tell, like, either if it was, I like to write the date and the time when I journal as well, just so it gives me like a concept of, you know, what I was feeling. Mm-hmm. But I can tell when I'm rush writing, when I'm like angry. I can tell where I was taking time. Like, my handwriting really does also tell a lot about what I'm writing and what I'm connecting with, that I can kind of remember as I read through it. So I think that's dope for me as well. That's why, like, I don't knock anybody that does, like, you know, writing in your phone. I do that sometimes, but sometimes I can't really type out what I want to say. Right. So it's like I take notes in my phone, and I still go back to like journal, because I like the pen to paper. For me, it helps.
See, I write like a third grader boy if I'm happy, sad, or mad, so it wouldn't even matter at all. At all.
I don't care about being neat. I'm just like, look, I go from writing one thing right here, and then like, okay, here's a note over here. Okay, we're gonna come back to this.
Do you see these lines? That quick, y'all. I got a whole cross T pair. What you mean? No.
Okay, who's sharing first? You or me?
Let me get mine over with. Over with. Because first I was like, hold it together, sis. This ain't it. So the question was, does now belong to you? My first instant thought was no, because it's shared. But then I instantly, that's my little squiggy line, was absolutely. And I put, this is my energy. This is my space, unapologetically me. And this is what I want to advocate. This feels right. And I have manifested this moment, and I didn't know what it would look like or how it would be. But this is it. Had no idea.
So where I was going.
I didn't know if I was going to like this, or if it was going to be awkward, or if I wasn't going to have nothing to write. But this moment answered so many unanswered questions for me. So yes, does this moment belong to me? Absolutely. All of it. I claim all of it. I mean, I love y'all, but yeah.
And this is one thing that I will definitely stress. Like I told you before, like when I've done journal workshops in the past, and I plan to do more this year, what I love about it is being in a place to share, because it helps to expand the perspective, you know, and it's not about right or wrong, who has a better response
At
but
all.
it gets a point to where like I love being at a place to understand someone. So hearing how that same question that we all wrote to, right,
Yep.
took you down that direction. I have a completely different answer, but what you still resonates with me, where like I can be inspired to write more, you know. So
Yeah.
I love being able to also write, but I love sharing. I love being in those safe spaces to share and exchange, because that's also fruitful. So
Absolutely.
don't sleep on that.
At
Okay.
all.
So
No
I'll
sleep.
go as
No sleep.
well. Okay. So when I first heard, I'm gonna say this. When I first heard this question, I was like, "Does now belong to me?" I'm like, "What am I supposed to write?" Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, "Here we go with this question." But then the thing that I love about journaling is writing without second guessing yourself.
Yep.
Just write.
Instant.
And that's why I say it's not about being right or wrong. It's really just
Right.
getting out your thoughts. And sometimes they shift when you start to write. So this is what I wrote. I wrote, no. Letting go is understanding I don't have to get an attachment that leads to expectations, not what I need right now. Now is the present, the breath, to give thanks and to honor and enjoy what is understood as now. To flow free of time is flow free of time to corner something is mine, but I can still honor what now brings me and how it expands. So I was thinking about time. I was thinking about
Right.
attachments, expectations, because that belong word was ringing to me. And that's why I was just like, it kind of triggered like having that place of saying like, I'm in a space where I just constantly want to focus on what am I letting go? What can I surrender to? What doesn't have to feel like mine? And even though it's not mine, I can still cherish it. So that's kind of like the direction that I was like leading in.
First, I got to say, I'm never going first again. Not with your poetic self. Never again. Never again.
Look,
No,
but you know what's so crazy? And honestly, like because this is something that kind of happens for me naturally, like this is shit that people mock me for. And not even like having to share like journal entries, but having to express myself is always like, oh, you're trying to be edgy, you're trying to, like, no, this is really me trying to document like something
what's going on?
that I'm thinking inside. And that's why I used to like dim my light or kind of shy away from expressing myself, because like I was so crowded about what everybody was constantly either making fun of me for, mocking me for, or just having those comments that like, but now it's like, look, I'm gonna say what I need to say.
It is what it
this
is.
is me. And I enjoy being myself. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you.
Girl, no, and I love how, like we said, both what we said were different, because your trigger, what was with the word of belong, and mine was for me was to actually own how I'm feeling naturally, because I'm always like I said, my first instinct was no, because it's shared, like it's how everyone else is feeling, and that is my natural go-to. Well, how are y'all feeling? Are you guys good? Can I serve you some wine? How can I give you? But that's all I was like, no. Let me check myself. Yes, because this is what you've been wanting. This is how you want to feel. At peace is that is my bag. That is what I'm chasing. That is what's rich to me, is being at peace and happy. In this moment, with you guys all alive and with you, this is my happy moment. This is what's feeding me.
I love that. And it's like, that's a way for us to pour into each other, because even though that shows you the difference of a journey, for example, you know, this is not actually, the prompt isn't the journey, but showing how the same question can lead you in two different directions, but being able to share, we can still inspire each other. And it's not to say like, oh, sis, wrong for that. That's not what that question's asking you. Or you to say, sis, you had to be all extra and say all that. But it's being able to say like, yo, you gave me a perspective that I can also resonate with, that still speaks to me, because yes, you're right. Let's own this now. This now is mine. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, have a respect to say, okay, what you said too, I see that as well. You know what I'm saying? So
I was like,
I love perspectives.
Look, because when you said like, I was like, okay, because I'm gonna be territorial. Who? I wrote the book of territorial. That's me. Nope, that's mine. That's my, and only child syndrome. So yes, all of it's mine, all of it's me. But I get it, and that makes complete sense. Because I think I've seen on some kind of post that sometimes you can be hurting yourself on holding tight to something that you do need to let go. So when you said, I'm like, okay, I see like what you did there. That sounded good. I absolutely like that.
That's the beautiful thing. And that's even, to reflect in that way as well, like, and being able to share, like, because when you're journaling, it is your intimate thoughts. Sometimes we're not always sharing what we're actually thinking, but being able to write it out and then be in a place to share and say, like, okay, this isn't about, and that's why I stress so much, because I used to always feel like something was about being right or wrong. Like, to say, like, well, dang, she said that, and well, why didn't I think of that? And that's what sometimes happens when people are sharing. And let's get into it. Let's show how, like, being able to show up as yourself gives you a perspective to see where you may feel like you're lacking. And that's why other things breed into where, like, you can have those insecurities creep in and say, like, well, damn, she had a really good response, and how come I didn't think of that? But being able to respect the differences as a fruitful way is what I really want to do with people.
Yep. Come on now. Come on, girl.
Look, let's get another one, because we had a couple of dates.
Okay, so you want to go pick some old dates? You want to pick another date from that they were already?
Yeah, so we have right after 12/6, we had July 13th. So let me flip over to July.
They could have said 9th, but it's fine. We'll let them make it.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. This is good. This is good.
For who?
Okay. So,
for who?
Oh, you know what? Let me say this. Anybody that is presently with us that had a response, if you want to share, let us know.
Yeah.
Because
we open all for everything
right now. So before we even move to the second question, if anybody wants to share for question 1, it now belongs to you. So feed me with your perspective, because I love that shit.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Anybody.
And there's no, like you said, there's
if
no
you don't
want
to come on the live, it's cool. You can put it in the comments. That's just as fruitful.
Right.
Let us know. If not, we gonna keep it moving.
And we can still read them too if they have to, like, type, because we're writing, so they might have to type it. So sure might.
Okay, so
you do. Okay.
So you want to come live or you want to type it out?
That's you. When you said live, I know she was like, wait, I am in the comfort of my home.
It's all good. I'm with either or. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it like that.
If I was watching this, I would probably be in my bonnet, and y'all would not see me on here with my bonnet. No, ma'am.
But what's so crazy? I've actually, like, started to get in a place of, like, one time I just felt so inspired after, like, a meditation, and my spirit was like, go live. And I'm like, girl, you in a robe, you in a bonnet. And I'm just like, nah. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Look,
wait,
we just gonna go with it.
I'm like, let me at least shift my little buns right. Like, hold on before I hit. Yes.
Look, something.
Come on, clean and dress. That's right, friend. That y'all can do it. I know y'all are all beautiful anyway.
I'm intentionally being myself, regardless of how anyone feels. I'm moving genuinely through life. Finally. That
pretty.
Resonates, and I love that.
Like that.
I love that.
That is pretty.
Oh, okay.
That's a little bit of.
Oh, you doing live?
Oh,
that's a little bit of what you write. What you wrote.
So do I need to invite you? Let me see if I know how to do this stuff. Is it one person? Can more than one person be online?
Well, it's been updated, so yeah, we can have more than just us. Yeah.
Okay, okay, technical difficulties. Hold on, let me see.
I'll be me charged up. I'll be like,
Okay, great. Okay, I just sent you a request. Don't ask me anything else besides that, but go ahead.
Now, don't deny the request. Don't leave us hanging now.
Right. I mean, it's fine. So we can, you want to go on to the next one?
Yeah, so we have, okay, so we'll do, question. So we'll do, let me go back to the date, because I think it was July 13th.
Right. Okay.
And she said she'll go live when we do that question. Okay, so July 13th.
Woo. Oh, wait. Keisha, did you want to get it? I didn't request you. I didn't know if you're ready. I can request you. Go. Hold on. Let me see if I can request her. Oh my goodness. So excited. Girl, I'm about to go through this one. I need to slow down. Hey, I do. All love here. It's all love here.
Hey.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my birthday is December 6th. That's why I chose that date.
Okay.
But totally agreeing to everything that you're saying. I noticed that I was always the one that wanted to be a part of the in crowd. So I
Mm.
wanted to have all of these friends and I wanted to be invited to all of these things, and I just wanted everyone to see that I was such this fun person and loving person,
Mm-hmm.
and so I overcompensated for what I gave people, and I overcompensated for just trying to be me because I wanted to be liked, I wanted to be invited, I wanted to be involved. So now it's more of I kind of dummied myself down. So the honest person that I am, and people felt it was too aggressive, or they felt that I was too honest, or who was I to tell the truth or to give my truth on your situation or your whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of downplayed myself. Whereas
Mm.
now it's more of hey, if I'm going to be who I am, I want you to love me for who I am. I
For who
want you
you
to
are.
love me because I am genuine.
Mm-hmm.
I love friends. I love friendship. I love it. I feel like it feeds the soul at times. And it
Yes.
helps you to not to have that person to vent to have that person to laugh with, to have that person to eat, drink, whatever. Just the companionship of friendship is what I love. So now it's more of just trying to be more genuine, in any of these situations, and genuinely saying, "Hey, sis, you need me, I'm here," or "Hey, it's me. Whatever you need, I'm genuinely giving myself you. And if you don't like it, or if you can't take it, or if you don't want to be around it, it's okay.
Yes.
It is not that I have to question who I am.
At all.
It's
Mm.
just that, maybe we weren't meant to cross paths at that time, or
At that moment.
maybe we just don't mesh, and it's okay. Instead of me questioning myself and saying, well, was I too aggressive, did I say too much, was I too honest, it's like
It is what it is.
yeah, it just is what it is.
And
So
sometimes we just in spaces with the wrong people
mhm.
that before we can recognize that it is the wrong people, we did question ourselves. Because I can relate to that as well. Like,
Yeah,
dimming my light or doing certain things because somebody may have vocalized something or somebody didn't want to hear that. So then I did this video before where it's just like, always apologizing for being who you are. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say too much. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
yeah,
And it's like
yeah,
when I started being around people, it's like, well, what you apologizing for? I'm like, dang, this is because of my previous situation. So I love how you said being able to be genuinely who you are. And if you don't mesh with that, if you don't rock with that, I'm
right,
not going to question myself.
right,
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
right,
So getting to that place is powerful because it allows you to also be around more people who genuinely do enjoy you. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Weed them
Mm-hmm.
other people out. Go to
right,
the side.
Yes.
I'm good. You know?
right, right.
I love that.
Thank
That we
y'all.
so beautiful. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I don't know how to get off of here.
Girl, none of us do. But we're gonna make it, we're gonna figure it out.
It
But
should
Maybe
be
if
an
I
X in
X
the
out.
corner.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bye, y'all.
bye.
Bye. Thank you. I
Okay.
love that. See, sharing is just,
Right.
it also shows that like we're not alone. You know
Mm-mm.
what I'm saying? Like sometimes it does feel like I'm the only person struggling with this. I'm the only one that had this issue. Nobody else has this issue. What's wrong with
Right.
me? But then when we start to talk about things and express ourselves and show the level of growth that we have, it's like, oh, that resonates, sis. Like I understand. I understand.
Yes.
And this is another way that we can pour and feed into each other. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Thank you. That was
Right.
beautiful.
Not gonna do it. We're not gonna come on, Quest. We're not about to do it. Right. I can't. What was the date? What was
Okay,
the next
so
date? December
we're gonna do
something.
July 13th.
July 13th.
And then we'll give everybody, including ourselves, some time to write. So for
Right.
July 13th, the journal prompt that we are going to write to says, what can you do to be more present?
Ooh.
What can you do to be more present? I'll go ahead and write that out, and I'm going to have you pin that for me, sis.
Will do. Wow. Okay, that one's a good one.
Right? I feel like it's just feeding into the combo and to the whole
Right.
talking about.
Right. Okay, like, woo! Okay, what can you do to be in the present? More in the present. Oh man.
That's what you picked a good one, because
Right. That one.
and even like the journal prompt that we just had before that, when I was talking about attachments and things like that, I'm just like, okay, how can I be present? Like, it's now, but okay, we gonna
Because
wait.
remember, I even had said something in our conversation earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, y'all messed up with this one. Y'all messed up with this one.
All right, let me get some little background music for everybody.
Okay,
Okay, what can I do to be more present? And we'll do like 2 to 3 minutes.
okay.
Hey, sis.
Mm-hmm.
So we doing a live journaling right now. We just been going through. This is the second prompt. Sis actually pinned the question. So if you want to join us, you can. If not, you can just watch and vibe with us. We're sharing what we actually are writing to each prompt. Let's see. Sometimes I have to like write and then like stop and think more on questions.
Teacher, I need to use my hallway pass to go to the restroom, so I'll be back.
It's so funny because the first prompt that we had, since she gone, I'm talking to y'all. First prompt that we had, I was like writing in paragraph form. Now I find myself just writing like almost as a list, like bullet points. And that's how sometimes I will journal, depending on how my thought process is or what the prompt is. It's not always like in a paragraph format and things like that. Sometimes it's lines connecting to something else and another thought, a side thought on top of the thought. So be free in how you write, and don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just look. That's part of my answer. Don't overthink it. Go ahead, write that down. Look and look. You just said I'm more present by not thinking so damn much. That's exactly what it is. I said what it is. I don't know where that accent came from. We'll do another minute or so.
Oh, hey everyone, I'm back.
I did what I could to hold it down.
See, teamwork.
Yeah, I'm about. I feel like if I pour another cup, I'm like, dang, I'm about to go through this whole bottle.
And look, and then that's when my mouth really start going. And we're not doing that. I haven't cried, so it's good. We just go keep pacing ourselves.
Okay, so we'll do another minute for everybody and another minute for you since you're back.
Oh, I already had written it down.
Oh, okay. Let's roll with it.
You going first, or someone else can go first? Because what I'm not gonna do is go first again. We're not doing that.
But while you was going, I was saying how like the first prompt that we did, like I was writing like full sentences, and now I just find myself like just making a list because that's how I felt like I was inspired by the prompt to write. So I'm just gonna give it to you like a list. Okay, a list. I don't know it must be the one give me the shit. I ain't even drink that much. Now you know what it is. It's just good energy, and I feel like I love when I'm in spaces where like I could be myself,
comfortable.
And like I said, I really am shy, but I feel comfortable now that I've been here for about an hour. You know what I'm saying? But we've been vibing even before.
You still give me airy vibes. You still give me airy.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But you know what's crazy? A lot of people can pinpoint that like my Virgo tendencies, and I'm a Virgo moon on the tropical side, but you know, I don't know. I never really thought of the Aries, but yeah, my rising is a Cancer, but I'm a Gemini.
We know. Yep, you told us.
Okay, so with this prompt, what can you do to be more present? So the first thing that hit my head was slow down, and I should have wrote slow the fuck down. You know,
to be quite honest,
that's the only way I can be more present. You know what I'm saying? But slow down, acknowledge my surroundings, honor my emotions, be real about what I feel, because I feel like my emotions connect with the present. You know, so if I'm happy, there's no need to deny that I'm happy and try to be something else. I can honor exactly what I'm feeling in that moment. Take deep breaths. Deep breaths just reassure how present I am. Let go. And then I hit that arrow, surrender. Because that's meditation for me always, you know, because patience is something that's a reoccurring theme. So let go, surrender. Flow to my flow, as I like to say. Trust the process, enjoy the journey, and don't overthink it. Those are things that push me to be more present.
Right. Girl, I like that. Can you go ahead and take a picture of that and send it to me?
Let me give you the cheat notes.
Right. Let me copy that.
What you got?
I like that though. Okay. So first thing I put was anxiety. You will not be a problem. You will be my challenge. And I said, with that being said, tomorrow doesn't exist and yesterday don't matter. Embrace now. I'm a high functioning anxiety depressed person. And where pretty much your anxiety is, or you're worried about your past, which is where a lot of your triggers come from. And then anxiety can be like, oh, well, what if this? What if that? And what if this don't happen? And what if this does happen? And and that's where you get in your head. My thought process when it comes to that is what brings my anxiety, because I'm always trying to prepare A through Z. That is exhausting. And I've done that for a long period of time in my life. So that's why I'm like, tomorrow doesn't exist and yesterday don't matter. Like today, appreciate today. And what am I thankful for today?
That's a whole mantra, affirmation, however you want to put it, like tomorrow. I love that. And I can relate to that, even with getting to a point of being like overly critical or analytical and overthinking. It's like in my mind, I'm preparing for something that hasn't happened, but then I'm also using my past to kind of stage something that's now. And it's just like, okay, just be like now, just flow. That's why love water meditations. They remind me that just literally just like let go, like just I love that.
Yeah, I want to hear what our I don't want to say audience because that sounds so like scripted. What does our audience think of, or Who's out there? What did you guys put down?
Let me flex my español. Siempre dulce.
Oh,
Did I say that right?
yes, yes. Okay, we can get some of the chips up in here. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, you did say you was gonna go live with us, right?
Oh, she went there. Do I need
And this is about to be powerful because you said it's what you're working on. So give it to us.
Do I need to send that request? Do I need to? Let me see here. Come on, clean and dress. I'm ready for it.
I am so weak. Hey,
Hey,
friend.
friend. Y'all,
Hey,
that's
new
one of my
friend.
closest friends.
Hey, new friend. Okay, but no, I was really shocked because it's literally one of the things that I have been working on a lot lately. And shortly before you guys' live started, I was just talking to my other homegirl, and she was like, "You look different. Something is different." I was like, "I don't know," but I started noticing that how I look is deeply connected to how I feel. And I do feel different more recently. So I'm like, probably that's what it is. Because I'm working on some things, you know.
Yes. From
So,
inside out, that glow.
right. So what I wrote something short, and then there were 3 words that really stuck out to me. So, um, what can I do to be more present, accept what is and what isn't, understand and remember that change is real, remind myself that, understand and remember, that change is real, remind myself that I hold the power to enforce change.
Mm.
Then the 3 words that stuck out were ignore, listen, and feel. And
Ooh, let me
basically,
hold on.
Go on, take a picture of that and send that to me too, friend. I know where you live. Go ahead
Ignore,
and send that over to me.
listen, and feel.
and
If
feel.
that's instructions right there. Them 3
Right,
words is
right,
instructions.
Right,
right.
So
right.
anytime I need to remind myself to be present, that's exactly what I need to do. Ignore the overthinking. That's what I'm receiving from that. Ignoring
Right.
the things causing me to pull away from being present, to listen to
Exactly.
exactly what the spirit is saying in this present moment.
Ignore the judgment,
Mm,
ignore the naysayers, ignore the hate, ignore the negativity, ignore
mm,
what ignore what's pushing you to tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't here yet, like Nehcole
Mm-hmm.
said. Tomorrow doesn't exist.
Mm-mm.
So ignore all of those things and then listen. Listen to yourself, not to the other people, but you have to listen to yourself, listen to your
Yeah.
heart, listen to your mind, listen to your intuition. Listen to your emotions, listen to how you feel, and then feel. It's okay to
Let
be
it out.
happy in that moment. It's okay to, I feel like some people feel like if they don't worry, me and Nehcole are like one and the same. So I'm a super high functioning anxiety. I will think about 10 years from now and be like, oh my God, if I
Yeah.
don't do this like this now, it's going to affect me 10 years from now. And it's like, that's good. That's okay to do that. But sometimes we have to take a step back and acknowledge how we feel at that moment.
mm,
Not how we're feeling about the future, but it's like I could be having a great day and something could trigger me to think about 2 weeks ago or
Oh,
to think about 10 years from now. And it's like I can't acknowledge that. I have to ignore it. And then I have to feel like if I take that aside, how do I feel? I feel great. My skin is glowing, hair popping,
edges
like
flowing.
work,
Edges.
work is.
All of
But it's like I feel like every day there is something positive that we can focus on, but we allow ourselves and we subconsciously choose to worry and focus on the other things, and
mm.
we ignore our true feelings. You should be happy, like Nehcole. You know what I'm
it.
going through. I know what
Okay.
you're going through, and it's like there's some things at work that it's just like it's been killing me. It's stressing me out. I work at a law firm, a personal
Mm,
injury law firm, so I'm dealing with injured and hurt people who are hurt physically and financially behind these situations,
mm,
and it's just like at the end of the day, I'm stressed out. I'm freaking out. It's all this stuff to do. I'm working with this new lady that's driving me crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, I'm happy. I worked so hard to get here. The work is stressful, but internally, I am happy.
Uh-oh.
Happy that
Good
I'm
little bit.
working in a
Yep.
field that I am so good at, that my work is unmatched. I'm happy about that. And so I have to acknowledge that feeling and allow myself to feel that and ignore the other things that aren't going to
Oh.
matter now.
Yes, I love that. And
That
then
was my
switching
little
it,
bit.
yes, a lot of situations to define you and being able to pull yourself. Yeah, we're gonna have a drink to that.
Right. Come
Hmm.
on, everyone. If you have a drink, if not, get some water. See, if you got a Capri Sun because you got kids, get your Capri Sun. All of it. Let's just drink all of it.
Being able to pull yourself out of that is like not saying that you can't honor what you feel, but knowing that there's more than what is happening and knowing yourself, knowing that
Right.
yes, something from 2 weeks ago can come and set it off, but then
Yeah.
understanding that perspective change shift, man, that adds a fuel to a fire that can ignite. And you just poured into me in that way, because it's like, if I ever get to a place, because I know I am going to get to a place where it's just like, I'm struggling to be present, I'm overthinking,
Yeah.
just being able to say, hold up, ignore, listen, and feel, and repeat those words until I can get to a place of letting the spirit speak to me so I can hear. So I appreciate that. I love that. Thank you. This is why I say share it. I know it's
Right.
going to be hard, but look, we pouring into each other, and I love that.
And when, Fran, of course it would be you. I should have not put you up because I'm not going to do it. But there's so many moments, and I have to give myself grace, and you'll hear me always say that. There's so many times I wish I was more present to enjoy things than worry
Mm.
about
About that.
is going to be taken away from me. Whew, hold on, I'm holding it in. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. I've had a second panic attack when I was extremely happy, which sounds crazy. Like, why would you panic? Because I was around energy that I want to be around. The setting was perfect. And when I sat and was still, my first thing was, what if this goes away? What if I'll never be happy again? And my thoughts went out of control, and I just start sobbing. I started sobbing, and it pretty much just canceled out the moment I just had, the experience I was having. And so for you to say embrace that, I wish at that moment I could have embraced that. I'm working on it now, and that's what we're working on, the present now. But we really need to embrace the current, because tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
It's not even promised.
Right.
Like we talk about, it doesn't even. It's not even promised, because if we knew a certain date that we would, our time runs out, we would do everything we wanted to. Why don't we do that now? And within reason. I'm not saying quit your job, because I know that's something probably all we'll want to do, but within reason, embrace every single day and find something beautiful about every day. I appreciate everyone who comes into my life. And I'm pretty sure I've taken for granted of some of the moments in my life, but now, currently, I'm embracing everything. And that's how you have to be present in your moments now, is embracing everything. Like this moment, talking and interacting with everyone, that's being present. Not even worried about tomorrow. So thank you, friend. I didn't cry. I'm proud of myself. I'm shutting up because I didn't cry. That's it. That's
So
it.
hold it.
Right.
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Just like, and it's just like, one of the things that I thought about when I was writing, and it was so heavy, was that, so, we went to the river this weekend,
Right.
and it's so crazy. So my mom's worked at Disney my whole life. I've been a Disney child my whole life. I love all my original Disney princesses and songs. And one of the songs that I love are from Pocahontas, and she speaks about the river. And we were in a river, and it's just like at the end of the day, when you stand in the river, everything is flowing by. That water is constantly moving. The same water will never hit you twice. However, you're still standing firm. You're not moving. You're unchanged. All that stuff, it's coming and it's going. You can see a branch from up the way, and it's going to come and it's going to go right by you. And the next thing, it's further down, right? So us standing firm, that's our present. That's our present. The river, everything that's flowing by, that's life. We see stuff coming.
Come
It's going to come and it's going to go.
Come on, Cancer.
And then there's gonna be people
Come on,
further down the
Cancer.
river. There's gonna be people further down the river that branch past us, but now that branch is gonna pass somebody else, but it hasn't gotten to them yet. But guess what? They're not worried about that branch because they don't even know what's coming.
Right.
But what they are worried about are where their feet are. Do they have a steady ground to stand firm on? You know, as we were walking through the water, where do I stand? This rock's slippery. Where are we gonna stand? We can't stand right here. Oh no, we got to move up. You know, but when you find that place, you stand in it and you take that moment to step back and enjoy. You found that soft spot in the sand where you stood for a minute and you were able to just look around and just be at peace with that moment. You're not paying attention to the things floating by you. Right. And I feel like that's what we have to do in life. We have to stand in that river when we find that safe spot, and we have to not even think about the things that are passing by, but enjoy the stuff that is standing firm around us, that are going to go unchanged. The tree across from you, that's not going nowhere.
Right.
Enjoy it. It's beautiful. Acknowledge it, you know?
Right. And I'm going to bring this up. And, you know, to co-sign on that, because it was a river, there was stuff that existed before we were there. Mm-hmm. There were some leeches. There were some worms in there.
Come on, we better use to bring the lesson.
Adjusted. Oh. But we adjusted. And we still
sure did, because I was freaking the hell out.
We was like, wait a minute. But
I gotta hope.
Who are we to disrupt what they're going through? Who are we? So, yes, I want to embrace this. You're going to embrace this as well. But let me adjust myself because this was your home.
This is your territory.
But it didn't bother us. And that's, girl, I need to use my own advice. We got to adjust to what comes what comes with it in life. We have to adjust so we can still embrace the present. We can still embrace what's current moments going on. That's that, girl. Mm-hmm. That's
all that. That mental perspective and being able to even understand it in that way, to say, and I love how you said to stand firm and allowing those things to pass you, because that's exactly what it's like. It reminds me of being peace in the midst of chaos, you know, being able to have that fullness within yourself, even though something around you is going crazy, you know, and that goes back to the mental health and why it's important, you know what I'm saying? So, woo-wee.
Man.
Spiritual food.
Yeah, that was my little piece.
Trent, thank you so much. Thank you so much for them gems. We received a lot of gems tonight. And I'm so thankful for everyone that got on here. And even if you participated and didn't say anything, just you being present, I'm so thankful for it. I'm not about to cry. I'm so thankful for it. One of y'all take it away. Because I can't do it.
You got to stop doing that stuff, though, because you're not allowing yourself to feel. If that's how you feel.
My lashes are not waterproof. We're not doing this on live. Bye, friend. Bye.
Bye.
She said you need to allow yourself to feel, okay?
Which I do, but these lashes right now, we're not doing that on live.
She not about to have them drink like this. She said, not tonight.
Maybe tomorrow but not tonight.
But man, this was beautiful. We've been able to talk about self-care. We've been able to talk about journaling, mental health, how journaling has been therapeutic for us on our journey, how we got started into it, going through the process of journaling, and just really emphasizing that there isn't a right or wrong way to do this. You know, it isn't a right or wrong way to express yourself. And being able to honor what you feel and to embrace your emotions, to be present. Like you said, there's so many things that we've been talking about. Look, we've been live since 7:30. We still in here, you know?
Right. What? That's crazy.
We didn't know how it was gonna go, but I know we was like, we're gonna just let it flow, play it by ear. Naturally. But this has been beautiful, and I like I was telling you before, like these type of things also charge me in a way that lets me know that I'm not alone. It lets me know that, you know, I can still go, like we have separate journeys, but it adds something to mine that pushes me to go a little bit further, you know, for days where I feel like I can't move, for days that feel like I don't even want to take one step in another direction. You know, I want to be still. So this is something that's needed. So it looks like we want to definitely try to do this some more.
Oh, for sure. Make it a little
things, you know, because this is also healing for me, being able to share in this capacity, being able to allow my authentic self. You know, sometimes it's easy to record a video when you by yourself, and then even if I'm critical, I still put it out there. But to be in rare form and to enjoy that and do all those things is something that's beautiful as well. So I love it.
I love it as well. I can't say when this is going to happen again, but it's going to happen again for sure.
We're going to make it happen.
We'll both probably post each other again. So if you guys want to both follow each other, because she does writing prompts all the time, and they're beautiful. Like, I could be at work and I'm like, you know what? Hold on, let me reread this and let me answer it in my head. You have anything else you want to say?
Something just came to me.
Okay.
We're gonna shuffle cards real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
We gonna see. So I make self-care cards that focuses on self-care, of course, but not just the beautification of self-care, you know, going into looking inward, having those questions that provoke the things that you're feeling inside, as well as those reminders that help you to push towards something else. So I'm feeling in spirit to just, since everything has been vibing really well, yes, I just want to pull something that's a takeaway for us. Not something that if we indulge in it, it's cool, but if not, something that we can just kind of go through. So these are the cards for those who may want to see. There's 3 different types. Light talk, which is the reminders. We also have our journal prompt and meditation. So they encourage meditation, reflections, as well as journal prompts and writing, as well as self-care acts. So we can't leave out the physical action that we may need to take place with, whether it's your finances, whether it's, you know, reaching out because you need help, or focusing on your health and your self-esteem. So a little bit of everything in this is what I try to focus on. So we're going to pull something for the energy of what's been going on. So I'm just going to show how this is flowing. So this was good, sis. I know we was like,
we didn't know.
But we've been on the same vibe, because we was like, look, we just want to let this flow how it is, let it be conversational, let it be what it is. So that's something that I love and I enjoy. So I do appreciate that. All right, so you know how to play spades,
because the way you doing that. All right,
let me back up. Look, I love a good spades game. Come on.
Because the way you shuffling them cards, I'm like,
I ain't played spades in a minute. That's what it feels like when I be like, okay, I feel like I'm playing spades. But one thing I love about what I stress with these cards too is being able to allow yourself to trust your intuition on how you do it. It comes with a guidebook that allows you to be able to get more out of it. But if you want to shuffle 7 times, if you want to blow the deck, if you want to do a trick and a split, whatever you want to do, if you want to get one of these in there, do what feels best. Do what feels best for you, because that's what's truly important. Nobody can really show you something that's inside of yourself. And we got to get to a place where we can be able to trust ourselves, trust our intuition, and be able to be led by our spirit in that way. So this is what these cards are going to do, and allow you to strengthen that. You know, do I pull 5? Do I pull 1? And we got to flip. So we're going to go with it. And it's 2. Oh, come on. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to let y'all know, this is her product. Like, so when I say it's with love, I've seen her post and everyone have said gratitude and how beautiful they are. When I get paid, I'm gonna buy all of them, because you always wonder, like, when people put stuff out, like, is it really made with love? Y'all see her vibe now, like, that's natural. So when she made her product, it was with love and it was natural. So look at her page. I'll post her. But go ahead, Fran. Go ahead.
Okay, so I did shuffle 2 cards, flipped face up. So we're going to go with those. We have a light talk and a self-care. So this is something to do. Okay. And this is something that we could be reminded of. And you know what I'm going to do? Let me grab the guidebook real quick, just to give it the full scope.
I love it.
That
was quick. You could have just went, boom, here it is.
Okay, so for Light Talk, like I said, these are reminders in the guidebook. They extend to more journal prompts. So I'll share that just as a takeaway. It's not something that we have to dive in. So I'll go through if you want to write it down. But the first, and tell me this ain't on key. While I was shuffling, it says keep following your intuition.
Woo! That's it. And I'm gonna
following
take it.
Your intuition.
I will take it.
And I'm gonna go through the guidebook to pull up the expansion insights on that card, just to get a little bit more. So this is the book that comes with the cards that allows you to dive a little bit into the your self-care session with the cards. You don't have to use it, but it's there if you want to extend it. So this, I'm gonna just read through some of these statements, and whatever resonates with you, that's what I want you to take away. So the main point is keep following your intuition. Trust and discipline yourself. Do what's necessary if you want a solution. Stay in alignment with the Most High. Sit at the throne within. Be the student. If a decision needs to be made, pray and allow the Spirit to guide you. Check your intentions. Move with confidence. Pay attention to symbols and different aspects of creation. You are powerful. And then the journal prompts with that is, what makes you feel secure? When was the last time you made a good decision? Are you afraid of making mistakes? What emotional blocks or insecurities inhibit you from following your intuition? What have you learned about intuition? Okay, so that is the keep following your intuition with the expansion insights, just to give you a little bit more. And then the second card that flipped for us as a community, as we're here, is a self-care card. So these are physical acts that you could do. This one says rest is an important part of self-care. Rest to recharge your mind and body. Resting is not just about sleeping. Give yourself a break from work or projects.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go into the expansion insights on that card. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay. So the expansion insights for this part gives you some things that you can incorporate into your self-care. So these are just some ideas. Use them as something that resonates or something that leads to inspiration, right? So you can pick a day to sleep in late. That's all right. We all got to rise early, and it's okay to sleep in late.
Right.
You can spend 15 to 30 minutes in meditation. Read or listen to a podcast or audiobook. Try a new dish or explore other types of food. Do something that connects with your inner child. And we talked about that earlier.
That part.
Doing those that connect with that.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to do this again. It has to be done. It has to be done. But did anyone ask any questions? Does anyone have any questions before we go ahead? Because we've been on this since 7:30 and it's now 9:24. So I extremely blessed and extremely thankful. Oh, I know she a real one, and I'm telling you, that's why I say try to be your authentic self, because I've reached out to a few people, but her like this, like it was natural, it wasn't forced, and it just flowed. Like I said, we had no idea how this was going to be tonight. And look, we're here. We all got some gems tonight.
Yes, this was beautiful. And even though we're at a place where like we are bringing this is something that feeds us as well, because I feel so full about this. I feel lifted, you know what I'm saying? And we all need that push in our journey, because I know there's days where I feel like, you know, I'm just not feeling it, you know? Yeah. So this is something that feeds me as well. So I appreciate you for even reaching out to me, you know? And sometimes we want to reach out to even when people reach out, I'd be like, oh, I'm doing live. Okay, I could do this. Like, that's really like, I could do this, because sometimes it's just like, I'm nervous. I'm naturally nervous and shy, but it's like, there's a fire within me that this is bigger than just what I feel and what I want to do. And I have to be obedient. Every time I'm obedient to the Spirit, it's something that feeds into me. So I appreciate you.
Okay, to co-sign off this, and then we out at 9:30. We out. Going against the grain, I'm a firm believer. We have the choice to go any path we want. That is life. We have to go any path we want. However, there is a path that we are supposed to go. And if you go on the path you're supposed to go, it'll run like butter. It'll be so smooth. It'll be so smooth. But when you go against that grain, what you're supposed to do, it won't flow. It will not flow at all. No matter how many different ways you go about it, it won't flow at all. So you just got to find what you feel might be your path, and you'll know. You'll know. And and you'll be able to grow with it, and you'll have a love for it. Like this time, have a love for it. Don't get paid for it, but I can do this every night and be perfectly fine with it and happy, like happy, truly happy. So yeah, girl, you know it's good when you gotta oh right, all of it.
Look, you be saying bye 5 times. All right, we about to get out of here.
Well,
okay,
you know,
we'll 20 minutes later.
We'll start standing up, then we'll stand outside, then we'll talk outside for a few minutes, then the lights, you know, the bugs be coming out, we keep talking. Always.
This is beautiful. And let me see if there was a question. So the cards are on my website. So you click on my page, probably the easiest way to get to it. But Goldn.Light is the website. But Goldn, just drop the E. So GOLDNLIGHT, selfcare.com. They're $22. They come with the guidebook. This is just a view of what they look like. You get a little selenite, a thank you card, some stickers, and just a personal note from me that I try to pour into you guys as I appreciate the support and love. So yeah, you know, I just appreciate you, sis, and being able to be like for real, like just really being in the space to do this and share. Look,
we got a few minutes. Don't you pull this in a few minutes.
Ugly crap.
Right. But I was like, well, what she said, we eat how much did you say it was? $22?
$22, yeah.
If you have Chipotle and you have Starbucks in one day, you have met $22. So you can afford these. They're not expensive. Let's be real. We can afford these.
I appreciate it so much. So yeah. And I really, this is more than just, this is my last thing, like for real, because I really want to stress this because I know sometimes it gets mixed up online and things like that. So, you know, I hope all of this is received, but I want to be in a place to really build a community of people who are about really elevating. So if that is you, you know what I'm saying? Let's connect, let's engage, let's continue to build on this, you know, because it means a lot. And the way that we just naturally just came on here and did this and poured into each other, it can't just stop here. That's how
it's not going to. We will not allow it to. We're not allowing it to. Alrighty. Well, everyone, it's been absolutely amazing. So thankful, so blessed. We will post everything here shortly. And if anyone has questions, you can get in my DMs, you can get in her DMs, and we both will respond back to you guys.
All right. Peace and love.
All right. Love you guys. Now I gotta figure out how to close this damn thing. Right. All right. Right corner. All right. Bye, everybody.